and an amazing audience. But I think this thing is too tall for me, so I'm just going to read a little bit of my novel that incorporates the animal. The novel is about the integration, co-education, and the sexual revolution. And looking around the audience, I think some of you at least remember the sexual revolution. It was fun while it lasted. He begins with a bang at the center of his story. It's spring of that revolutionary year, not too far in. Meringues of snow line the sidewalks, but a freshness cuts the air. Goddard Bird, known to his friends and enemies as God, has just emerged from an afternoon at the Parker House Hotel, a virile, uncircumcised male of his class, upbringing, and era. His prostate gland and preputium have not yet been removed, and he is unburdened just now of Puritanism's load. He's drunk a glass of gin, then lain with Mrs. Victor Rebozo's, whom he must remember to call Eileen, and both of them are better for the exercise. In bed, she tells him he's a bear, all paws and claws. She insults him, purrs, climbs on top. She wants to know if he could be any wild animal, what would he be? An animal. He would be a tiger. He likes himself better this way, his natural shyness tempered by adrenaline. She is more flexible than he, more at ease, depending on the occasion, more pliable. Women are pliable, he thinks. They revel in the shifting relations required by husbands, children, lovers, others. How can this be a matter of opinion? But he can't tell Mrs. Rebozo these things. She might eat him alive. They lie together in the fading afternoon light, the March grisaille. The most beautiful words in the English language are sex in the afternoon, she tells him, and he can't in the moment find reason to correct her. Mrs. Rebozo's tongue darts suddenly across his left nipple, and God rises with an animal roar, his body fire and ice. She smiles. I read that in the Kama Sutra of Vatsayana. Do it again, says God. Her tongue and lips move excruciatingly over his body, describing ancient erotic techniques from the Orient. He rises obediently as a snake in a basket. God lifts his head to look at her and feels an organ breach, his liver, spleen. She looks like a boy, almost. Short hair, hoops in her ears, all of it signifying what? Maybe nothing. Eventually, he pins her to her back, which she seems to enjoy, and humps her in the familiar way, running breathlessly toward a goal, which he reaches. You're beginning to get it, my earnest missionary, she tells him afterward. Let's hope it's not too late. They share a plate of cold roast beef, a famous roll. Naked, quivering a little, she wraps a blue knit scarf around her shoulders. My dark secret, she says. All my life I've been drawn to misogynist coots like you. It's like a taste for black coffee, incredible when you think about it. Even God is surprised that a free-spirited woman such as Mrs. Rebozo's would so defiantly stand beside an old man, in his shadow, eat meat with him, and be his prize. I have to go, he says into her ear. You could stay all afternoon. You could have a bath. Just a quick shower, she says. I have a women's thing. Last week, we inspected our cervixes. Mine looked like an eye. God tries to conceal his horror. At 3, he descends, leaving Mrs. Rebozo's to enjoy the rented room, whose extravagant price still stabs him when he thinks of it. In spite of the evidence, he imagines her as passive, feminine, mysterious, and inert, women in their beds. Rorschach blots on the luminous sheets. He advances through the lobby and rolls into the street like a well-oiled man on wheels. The atmosphere of hostility and depravity beyond the doors of the Parker House stings him like a slap. The street is filthy. Even the city fathers are off their game, lax or stoned. Girls in paper dresses, temporary dresses for temporary girls, giggle at him. He's harmless, they think, the last of a dying breed. God passes gently into a haze of mustard, purple, maroon, and marijuana fumes. In spite of the expense of the hotel and the crudeness of the street, he feels deeply at home in this world. It's divided and antagonistic, filled with human hatreds bred by race, religion, and economics. He loves it anyway. He turns a corner and nearly collides with a regiment of fife and drummers near the old city hall. A young man leads it, his fuzzy black afro powdered white. God stops to watch. What history is being revised or protested on the plaza? Could it be Crispus Attucks, the first man to die in the Boston Massacre of 1770, or one of the famous 54th Massachusetts Volunteer Infantry authorized by President Lincoln to fight for the side of the Union? But no, impossible. A bevy of females masses together in the rear of this regiment, backing up the black man like Motown floozies. They whistle shrilly into tin piccolos and drown out the drums. It's a fantasy history, but who made it up and why? The regiment plays Dying Redcoat and Poor Old Tory. A few roomy veterans with tears in their eyes clasp Red Sox caps to their breasts. God also trembles to the revolutionary music. He has been something of a radical himself. The first head to find promising colored boys in Roxbury, take them to the good school, wake them up, and arm them against poverty, drugs, and crime with Thomas Hardy and Shakespeare. Integration was his cause, his triumph. Now the trustees, Mrs. Rebozo's most vocally among them, want to bring girls in. Over my dead body, he said. Thank you.